What's up, guys? I'm Augie Bello.
And I'm Scotty Madonia.
And welcome to Wasted Potential. So how you doing, Scotty?
Doing pretty good. I've had a busy week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I am currently up for a promotion, possibly.
That's great.
I interviewed for it.
Awesome.
I can't really say much.
Yeah.
It has to be kind of, honestly, if you're seeing this, it means I didn't get it, basically. It's basically the situation.
Well, I guess the first thing we'll probably talk about is what the purpose of this podcast is, which I guess the goal. So when people hear wasted potential, they're like, oh my God, are you like shitting on the artist? Like what? No, but like the goal is like to find out the one thing about an artist, a musician, a singer, whoever we have on, the one thing that they didn't pursue that they might have been great at, or what they would have done if not for, their main career, why we know them. So that's kind of the goal, is to kind of dig in and find out those things.
Plus just the name is funny because it's kind of like no matter what you and I are the type of people that no matter what we do, we're always going to kind of think that we're like wasting our time.
Exactly.
A little bit. Like even if it's going well, we're going to be like miserable about it. So the name's kind of that holds true in that way.
Yep. So we like to start off each episode with, Scotty works in news. I watch the news. His family watches the news. So what we like to do is kind of update you guys on the news before we get in. So Scotty's going to read a headline, then I'll read a headline. These are just some jokes that we've come up with.
I'm going to take the laptop for just a second.
Go for it.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Augie for writing these.
No problem, dude.
Because I was a slacker and I didn't write any. Dutch authorities were surprised to discover a stowaway hiding in the nose wheel of a cargo plane when it touched down at Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport on Sunday morning. The unnamed man currently holds the record for the highest altitude Dutch oven. I like that. That's a good one. I like that.
Stupid. All right, so here's the.
I wish I wrote that.
Here's the second news headline for today. Rescuers Quokes, right? That's right. Quokes. Is it one syllable?
I think it is one syllable.
Quokes. Rescuers coax stranded dog to safety by tying a sausage to a drone. The rescuers called in drone expert and porn star Johnny Sins, who stated, "If there's one thing I know, it's how to get a bitch's mouth on a large sausage." That's I feel like I could have delivered it better.
It's okay. That's part of it. I think that's funnier. Should I go to the next one?
Yeah, the M&M.
M&M's characters are getting a new look to become more inclusive. In addition, the company has also decided to change their name to Them and Thems.
Krispy Kreme offers a dozen free glazed donuts to blood donors. Unfortunately, most of the people motivated by this are bedridden and unable to donate blood based on their pre-existing medical conditions.
That's just sad.
I'm just.
Is that a joke or a medical statistic?
Hey, listen. If you're bringing the 12 donuts home to your family, all right, it's different. If you're gonna sit there in the car after having blood taken out of you and just like
I will say it's a little
suspicious.
It's a little bit suspicious that like the idea about giving blood is that you're doing something that's gonna benefit people.
Yeah.
And that you're going to immediately go from that and do something that the doctors who are taking the blood from you would highly, highly, highly like advise against.
Who decided 12 donuts though?
It should be like
12?
5, 4. Or 3. Those packages?
3, I totally agree. Because you can sit there, eat 3 and be like, oh, why did I do that? 12 of them, you're never going to donate blood again.
Here's what they do. They take the blood out of you. You eat the 12 donuts. You go comatose. They go grab your blood and they put it back into you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was going to say, you asked me how I was doing. Mm-hmm. I did not ask in return.
That's okay. Don't worry.
And we got sidetracked by the jokes that you wrote because I didn't have time to write my own.
Well, I'm doing very well. I actually, on the way here to the studio, some guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, I love your boots." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you. It was nice. The guy was nice." And
what kind of boots?
I have these like pomegranate Tims. They're like Tims, but they're pomegranate colored.
Are they here?
Yeah, they're like, yeah. Go grab them. Oh yeah, we can't wait to look at the Tims. Oh my God.
Are they Tims?
Yeah, those are Tims.
Nice. It's nice. Are these new?
I've had them for like 2 years.
I like.
Well, you didn't even really show them. No, look at that.
Show.
Look at that. Yeah. Ho.
Look at that. Looks nice with the red light.
I'd like you to palm my granites. So I was on the train and this guy comes up to me. He compliments my pomegranate Tims And, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put my headphone. I'm still listening to my music. And he's like, so did you go to church? And I was like, well, I haven't been in like, I don't know, 5 years or something. He's like,
Yeah.
well, would you like to go tomorrow? And I was like, well, I don't like everyone knows. He had like a name pin. He had like a,
Yeah.
so, but I was like, when someone asks you to do something and then your head just starts going like through a Rolodex of like fake things that you could be doing tomorrow. I just started going like, unfortunately, I'm going back home tomorrow.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, no worries. Like, here's this pamphlet. So he handed me this pamphlet, right? Which is, I'm making sure that there's no glare on here. You could see it. It's the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And like, it was really nice. The guy was super nice. And like, I haven't looked into it, but I would say I looked at this one page and Scotty looked at it too. Now, I don't know who did this image here. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? But what is going on here? I've never seen the body of Christ delivered like this. Have you seen the body? Look at what's going on with the body of Christ.
I'm going to be, look.
Tell me what's going on here.
I'm going to be fully honest. Look, I don't want,
listen, this isn't making fun of Christ or anything.
No,
I'm just saying that one drawing.
Let me see.
What is going, yeah, show that.
To be fully honest.
Come on.
The fact that if someone, in his face, it's not, that's the thing, is it's not,
I mean,
the issue is not,
no, it's not the subject matter.
it's not even, honestly, if his face like was literally any other fucking face except for this, it's just like this, it's like this, I don't know how to explain it.
Just, I don't understand. I don't understand it is all I'm saying.
My thing is, are people, like, did the guy who, does it say who drew this? I don't want to out this artist, especially because it doesn't say who it is. So I have
who's the smart artist.
My thing is like, how do you look at this and not go, maybe not. Maybe this is an issue.
Yeah, I don't know. It should come with a caption or something like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the intentions were there, and I got his number.
No, but we've all, like, especially over the pandemic, I would say in New York, just train rides have just been like,
oh, dude,
particularly. And look, I'm
terrible.
I'm very much like, if I'm on the train, don't talk to me.
Don't look at me.
And like, cause look, I try to be as nice to as many people as possible. People on the subway are not human. That's it. They are
no. If they are human and if they're like,
they mind their own business.
Yeah. If you're like a normal person on the subway, you're not like, hey, have you thought about, moisturizing your elbow?
People, what?
I don't know. Moisturizing your elbows.
I guess.
Give it a pinch and squeeze. Give it a twist and a twist and yank.
My point is, people who are on the train are all NPCs at that point. Like, you are just not.
Yeah, you just do your thing.
I put my headphones in. Sound canceling, noise canceling on, and then I don't want to talk. I don't want to look. If I have cash on me, sometimes if there's someone asking for money, I'll give them money. But I don't want that to be a lead-in to
a full how's your wife? And
yes,
have you ever thought about
which is
putting
fine,
some cheese on your Danish?
What? This is fine in any other circumstance. But when you're trapped underground in like a tube, that is not okay.
I don't want to.
On the street, it's better.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about cheese on my Danish anywhere, to be honest. But
no matter what, if you're on the train, you're gonna have some experience, whether or not it's someone coming up to you and saying, "Have you heard the word of Christ?" Or if it's someone coming up to you, or the worst, someone has one of those JBL speakers.
Oh God, I hate that.
I'm telling you, I could listen.
Oh my God,
I could listen to my favorite song played on someone else's speaker, and I would hate the artist. Like, Human Nature is my favorite song ever. If I heard Human Nature on someone else's speaker on a train,
the subway,
there is no more rage in my body than the moment when I just hear the boo-boo-doot, and I just go,
oh God. I don't know why are you doing that? How are you so full of yourself that you think that every single person near you wants to hear whatever you're playing on your...
And here's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the speaker? $250? Buy headphones, asshole. Buy a set of goddamn motherfucking headphones.
Oh, I hate that so much.
It's the worst thing ever.
I hate it.
It's honestly, the subway is fantastic. Like, it really is great because it is cheap, but it is the most aggravating thing. Because on a long day and you just go on the train and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, guess I'm listening to someone's phone call over their JBL speaker at 300 decibels.
Yeah, no, yeah. The subway is convenient.
You know what? You know who I want to like jackhammer with my fists? Worse than speaker like music, right?
Yeah, this must be bad.
People who answer a phone call in the subway and then go, wait, I think I'm losing. And then they go, they get aggravated. Like they haven't ridden the subway before. I know where you are going to freaking Lafayette Avenue, okay? You're going to West 4th Street. You obviously have been on a train before because you know where you're going. No tourist just gets off at a random stop in the middle of whatever. You probably live here.
Exactly.
Know that when you answer a call, it's going to cut out. Don't do this shit where you get aggravated. Oh, no, the phone isn't working. Yeah, well, guess what? Your mother doesn't love you.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't love
for
you.
sure.
But you know what I would say is what age are we in? They can't have cell phone towers that actually reach down into the subway?
My assumption. Well,
you know what I'm saying? I'm saying
that would be
obviously
expensive.
we all know that.
Here's what it
It'd be expensive.
It's that.
Have you seen the art that they put up around the city?
Yes, but
they pay for
radio frequencies can't travel through concrete.
Yeah, well, guess what? Put a pole in the concrete, out the concrete,
but
bang,
you'd
you're
have
good.
to have one like a lot because it's not just going to make this even path that goes through all
not.
the time. You'd have to have a bunch of them.
All over the place.
But those have to go up. You understand? Like,
of course they have to go up.
So they just have radio towers in the middle of Manhattan.
How about you connect them to the damn buildings?
I mean, that's much more expensive.
Buildings everywhere.
Yes, you can do artwork that's expensive, but this would be like billions.
How about
hundreds
you
of millions
stick
of dollars?
A pole in the ugly artwork?
Well, that was just a bunch of us complaining.
Yeah,
great way to go.
Yeah,
but I was going to ask. You said you're doing well. Anything going on in terms of like, because recently you've had kind of. I mean, we've. This is not the first time you and I have spoken on camera.
No.
We've known each other for years.
That's right, yeah.
But I interviewed you, my first episode of my own podcast, The Vibe Chamber.
The Vibe
There's
Chamber.
a hat somewhere. I made merch for it. Isn't that depressing? No, it's actually, it's somewhere over there. You were my first guest. That's right. It was a live stream thing. We did it over Zoom.
I still haven't received the check, honestly.
Here's the hat. Here's the logo. Bada bing, bada boom. Scada boom. There's I did it for like 11 months, something like that. Then I got this job, and I just don't have time to do it. But you were my first guest. Thank you for that.
Of course.
And that was kind of my like initial foray into speaking.
Yeah.
I did YouTube videos before that.
That's right. I like
But
those.
this was the first time where it was like, oh, I have to speak for a really long time, and I can't
it's live.
And I can't. Yeah, I can't just be like, which is why I did it. I wanted to have that pressure, but I couldn't just be like, oh, I don't like how I said the. Let me retake it.
Yeah.
Which is how my YouTube videos were.
Yeah, and it'd take forever.
It takes forever, and you know what it ends up being? It ends up being exactly the same to everyone that watches it. It's just you are a little more happy with it.
You're like, oh, that the was so good.
Exactly. You just redo it because you're like, oh,
damn.
I don't think I just thought about it like that.
Wow, that and hit like nothing before.
Is that how you think about saxophone? Well, I know you think about saxophone solos. You're like, oh, I hit that one note wrong. Time to delete everything on my account.
Yeah, no, there's so many times like I'll look through, like if I pulled up my latest video, like I think I did like 40 takes for this
40 takes?
Nirvana thing.
Really?
This Smells Like Teen Spirit thing. And then I went with take like 25.
Yeah.
But like when I did take 25, I was like, this is terrible. Oh, yeah. And then I listened back to it and I was like,
Sometimes it's like, you know what the other thing is like there's like such a thing as like bad demo love and then good demo love. And sometimes you'll hate a take you do. And then if you just listen to it a bunch, you start to like it. And because you start to hear it more as other people will hear it, because you get the more you listen to it, you know, in terms of time further away from when you taped it, you hear it a little more objectively, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Because in the moment, you're like, all you hear is that one botched note. But then you listen to it in the context and you're like, oh, that felt like feeling and a real thing instead of it like ruining the whole. Like, there's so many times where like I'll listen back to a take, which for 15 seconds is really good. One note is a little bit off. And then like what I'll play after is just like garbage because I'm like whatever. But then I'm like, damn, if I would have just like ignored that one botched note, like that would have been the best take by far. So like if I kept in my head, I was like, whatever.
Because you can't really cut in because since you're doing video,
No.
you can't. It can't be like because
There's
you
no
have to see
take.
it.
Yeah, there's no like I whenever I record the video, I'm recording the audio at the same exact time, and then I'm just mixing it in Logic and pairing it with that video and taking the audio off of the original video. So and adding that new mastered audio. So I mean, there's no trickery or anything. And it's even tougher, I think, with TikTok because TikTok, like if you're doing a duet, there's you can't even change at least with the interface I'm using, you can't even adjust the volume afterwards. So it's like you have to make sure that the mix is right while recording. And it's like this whole, it must be perfect right now. Whereas, if you're recording into Logic and saxophone's too quiet, you're fine, bring it up. Or you didn't like how much reverb, or you didn't like as much echo, or you wanted a new effect, you could do that all in post. But but that's how I like to do it because it's more real. I don't like to record. I don't want to record things I don't want to record audio before I do a video because it's just not. First of all, it's not going to sound as good, and second of all, it's not going to be as real. Like I want it to be like this is a take, and if there was some flubs, like that's what real people do.
And sometimes people like that. To be
Exactly,
honest.
yeah.
Like because you can definitely tell when someone's like gone through and like knock things into place.
Knock things off.
Sometimes there are things where like you can do it and no one will notice, and it does make it better. But a lot of the time, you're just kind of like stroking your own ego to get something perfect, so everyone thinks you're like robotic. And then here's the thing: if you set that expectation that everything you do is perfect,
good luck.
What happens is someone's going to hire you, and then you're not going to sound exactly like that.
Yep.
But if you make those mistakes,
if you're terrible online, you'll be terrible in person. So like that's what I strive for.
Well, my thing is like, but if you make those mistakes, people think it becomes like part of your style.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you can make a mistake sound good. It can be a mistake and still be unique and cool.
Yeah.
And then when people hear it live, it doesn't become, he doesn't sound like his recording. It goes, he sounds exactly like his recording, but that's what I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like guys like You Spin, it was probably a mistake, but it was very original, and it was him.
That was horrendous. That was.
I'm just saying, like people have their own ways of doing things, and they get famous for that. Anyway,
oh my God! Holy shit! We never got on our 5-chamber interview. We never got this explicit.
No, we didn't.
I did. I had a couple. You know who I had on that I was really a little concerned about was Jackie
Martling.
Jackie the Joke Man Martling, because I was like, I don't know, because here's the thing. If I say something bad on this, I post it. I'm not saying it in the moment that people are listening to it.
Yeah,
so
it's
if
live.
my mother and father come and listen to this, it's like, I said it, but when I was live, there was a concern. It's like, what if he just brings up something just like totally something I don't want to talk live in front of my parents because I know they're watching. And yes, I'm a 23-year-old man and I shouldn't care about that. But does that, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Have there been times where you've done something and you're like,
Yeah, I mean,
my mother and father are probably not going to be like so happy that I posted this on Instagram or that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I did a Christmas music video
with Orange Bananas.
Orange Bananas, yeah.
Who's recently having a resurgence on Instagram.
That's right. Orange Bananas is back.
What's he call his series?
Slap or Scrap.
Is that the one that? No, that's not the one that really does really well. That's the
Famous Bass
Lines.
Yeah. But
his graphics are looking good too. I don't know what he makes them in, but they're getting like even better.
He did a good job. He's doing a good job. But we did this. We did a cover of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." And to emphasize little, I thought that Orange Bananas should put on, a thong, so that we knew what we were talking about.
Yes. If you did it, what would it be called?
Let's have a gigantic, huge, very large, one of the hugest Christmases, big league Christmas. This Christmas is better than any Christmas. Biggest Christmas and larger than Hillary.
They'd be like, how'd you cut your nose off and put it in your pants?
Put my nose in my pants. Anyway, it smells nice down there. We basically made a music video, and we thought it'd be hilarious if everyone who's seen Borat knows the green Borat thong, which is like, it goes here and it goes all the way over and through the crack. Nice. Very nice. I like it. And then I had my other friend. She travels a lot, and whenever she goes anywhere, she tries to buy me like the wackest thing she could find from that place. So she went to Australia, and lucky for me, she found a thong that was an alligator's mouth. So picture an alligator's mouth, right? And this is the head, but there was 2 separate pouches. This pouch here was for the that sack down there was for the sack.
Okay.
And the upper pouch was for the dongle. The dongle and sack were separated, right? So like you could, if if you lifted the dongle, the mouth is still here. The sack is, but if you somehow, I don't know how you do that. If you could, make your balls erect, you can close the mouth like that, or you could just go flaccid, and that also. There's many ways to close this mouth. Anyway, alligator thong, and so I wore what?
just the description.
I'm just saying, like, if your balls could get hard and your peeper was hard, you could close that up nicely. Close the alligator's mouth. But if the only other way to close it is just both flaccid, which seems
whoever designed
a little more natural.
Drew that picture.
Well, I'm just saying you could do either way. If you have that flexibility. Anyway. So we made that video, and I was like, "This is so funny! It's the best thing ever!" Fucking look at this, big,
Internet footprint,
yeah,
digital footprint.
It's still like private online. My mom was like, "This is a disgrace." I think I called her and said, "Oh, what do you think of the Christmas video?" And she's like, "I absolutely hate it.
No good.
I don't like that. This is a religious song." And you're over here with the thong on.
What's she gonna think about just talking about that picture?
Oh, what can you do? I'm not talking about Christ. I'm talking about whoever drew this. But yeah, we did that, and I was concerned about, like, listen, you always want your parents to be proud of you, but sometimes you got to throw in the crock cock. I like that. I would buy another one of those. I still have it.
Where is the thong?
Oh, it's in my underwear drawer.
Yeah.
I don't wear it ever. I can get this part up, but I can't.
God.
I can't seem to get these up. So, and I'm not really happy with the mouth kind of drooping. I want it to be like the alligators jumping out of the water. Whoosh, bop. Type of. There's a stake here, and he's sort of deal.
Can you imagine all the people who came to this?
I know a lot after seeing this picture, I'm sure a lot of people came to this. Look at that.
Jesus.
Oh boy. Yep. Exactly.
No, but can you imagine all the people who click this link going, I want to hear the Miss Saxon saxophone player talk about
Listen,
saxophone.
there's the reason I don't talk and I play saxophone, all right?
They're going to be like, oh, that's the guy from the video with the girl with the pants. I want to see
with the pants.
I want to see.
See, not many people know I was wearing the cock
underneath.
The croc cock under there. And I thought during the middle of that solo, I was like, oh man, she's got the pants. Ooh, I was going to rip them off. And everyone would be like, oh my God, getting all excited.
That would have gotten 15 million views instead of 12 million views.
Oh, Croc Cock would have sent that all the way to probably 69. I probably would have 69 someone at the end of the night. But anyway,
Can I keep any of this in is my question.
I don't know. I think so.
It's going to be long, extended censored. No. But my thing is, I just love imagining this, like, a middle-aged person who's like, I really love this guy's saxophone playing. I think he might be one of the best, like, young saxophone players. I just really, his use of the pentatonic scale and his substitutions and all this and all that, his fingerings and his altissimo. And this is what they show up to. I think that's hilarious.
What can you do?
I think that's phenomenal, really.
I still have the other content, so they can pretend, that I'm something.
Fortunately, I don't really have anything that would, because even when I interviewed people, it wasn't like, I didn't take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say anything that I thought was, like, ridiculous.
Yeah. Nothing like,
or like completely outrageous, but I definitely didn't censor myself.
Yeah, no, as you should.
So my digital footprint is not, I would say, as I don't
labored.
I don't think anyone, if a single person comes, saw the Vibe Chamber and then saw this, I don't think they're gonna think, oh, this is totally out of the ordinary.
No, of course.
But You never know. These musicians be coming over here and be like,
Well, listen, if you're watching this and you're pretending you're not like this, get out of town.
Yeah.
You're like this too. If you're a musician or you're trust me, maybe when you're performing, you're like, it's so serious, blah, blah, blah.
You know what? I'll tell you
But
this.
when you're in private.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
If you are a woman out there, okay? If you are a woman and you're watching this, which I doubt, but if you are a woman right there and you just met a guy who's a musician, especially a jazz musician, and you just went to your friends and you're like, I just met this guy, he's a musician. He's a really good guy. He's not. That is, okay? That's
Survey
some advice.
says.
That says you for 100%. He is not a good guy. If he can
Terrible
be a
guy.
musician. He can be a musician and be a good guy.
No.
If the first thing he says without you asking is I'm a musician, stop.
Turn around.
If you're in a club and you have one of those little clutch purses,
Yeah.
clutch the fuck out that shit
Yeah.
and run.
Well, no. I wouldn't say instantly run. First do an unzip and a bring down. If he's got the croc cock on, he's good to go. All right? If he's wearing the croc cock, and especially if he's doing the he's got them both up like that, because not many people can get this part. It's this part here, which is tough. The top part, over a certain age, it's tough. They're both tough, But if you can get them both, woohoo, ha ha, that's what you're gonna be doing, ha ha. Anyway, so what's next? What else are we talking about? You got some questions or something?
So going past all of the nonsense that we just talked about.
No, I'm not wearing it right now. Why? Why do you ask?
You went on Instagram and you asked all of your probably used to be adoring
my
fans,
former fans,
all the people
or new fans,
all the people who haven't listened to what you just said, and you said, "Do you have questions for me?"
Yes, I said,
do an Augie Bello Q&A.
Yeah, a little Q&A for today.
But I have a question, and it's the title of the podcast.
No,
which is, I hate the word podcast, by the way.
Yeah,
I want to say that as little as possible. But the title is Wasted Potential.
Yeah.
And so I have a question, and I bet you I asked this. I think I asked this when we first interviewed, and to be honest, I don't remember. So that shows you how good I am at my job. What is your wasted potential? And I want you to ask me in return. So that's that's the contingency that I ask you.
Of course. I would say my wasted potential, which I'm going to try to bring it back into my life. I always loved like making people laugh. And like a lot of my videos like almost 2 years ago were like comedy driven, but saxophone heavy. I would say like I would love to be doing comedy a lot, like just straight up. We should go. Like I know we'd do terribly.
Do stand up?
Yeah, we should just go.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
but I've always had an interest.
We'll do it.
We're
gonna go.
Let me clarify. I don't think I'd be good. I don't think I'd be funny. I don't think I really am funny. However,
I think you could be good.
However, I'm the kind of person where when things intimidate me,
you step up to the plate.
Try to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if I don't want to pursue it.
Yeah.
I try to do it.
Yeah. I would.
And I want to try it just because I think it's terrifying.
Yeah. No. We should do it. But I would say that like I wish I did more acting and kind of comedy driven stuff.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
If you could quit saxophone right now in terms of a profession, you can still play it, it's a hobby, but you are now a full-time actor, comedian, like entertainer type. Would you do that? Or like and have an amazing, like very successful career? Or would you, or if the choice is like you can do kind of half and half, but it's kind of, average?
I mean, it's a tough question, to be honest. People are probably like, "Is he crazy? Like you drop the saxophone like that?" I mean, my whole life is like basically dedicated to entertaining people and making. Of course, I have my things that I want to do and I want to get done, but a lot of what I want to do is driven by what people want me to do or want to see or like.
So you're a sellout? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. No, I should probably rephrase that because that's what I'll get.
No, it's okay. Who cares? Keep it in. Who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess a lot of what I do is like pleasing other people. And the great thing for me is that what I love to do musically and what I love to do like comedy wise and stuff is quite accessible. Like the music I love is pop music. I'm not ever playing pop music or hip hop or R&B because people will like that.
Yeah.
I love that. If you check on my phone, the only music I'm listening to is R&B, hip hop, pop.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I know this is going to like kill everybody. I'm not really listening to that much saxophone. There's some people that I will listen to on occasion, like we'll talk about them later, but I guess I would so what's the question one more time?
If you had two options, your life is basically dedicated to saxophone, and you can do a little bit of other stuff, but it's basically that. Or you can have a very successful career in comedy and acting and doing all this other entertaining, but you have to give up the saxophone.
Like give it up professionally? Could I still
give
play
it up professionally? You could, yeah, but you're not gonna have a lot of time.
So how about this? How about like I'm a comedian and they're like, oh, like did you know he plays the saxophone?
That's pretty cool.
And then every once in a while, like I just rip out like, oh, dude, if we ever do stand up,
you just play it.
Like no, I come up there like normally and I do like terrible on the stand up part of it. And then I just like out of nowhere, like I play myself out like SNL. I'm like, yeah! Just all high notes. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I probably would. I just love, I don't know what that life looks like. So, obviously this is very rhetorical.
Yeah.
And I know every single life is tough and has its bumps. No, I don't think any career choice is very simple.
Yeah.
Some people might have, get lucky with things or be born into something, but in order to maintain something, there's no just, oh, well, you could just be like, okay,
stale.
You can like make fun of the Kardashians all you want, but why do we care about them? Like they make sure that they are in your face, like all the time.
I'll tell you, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but working in the industry, that
sounds like a wrestler's name. I am the industry.
It probably was at some point.
It probably was, yeah.
But working, around television, I here's something to know. People who work in television will literally tell you anything if you ask. If you're like, I don't know, I'm thinking of Willem Dafoe because he's hosting SNL tonight. If you're still here tonight, I've got to watch that.
I love the promo.
So good. With the laugh.
Good. Yeah.
And then, you know what they were smart to do? They cut just the laugh out and they were posting, and they're like, here's Willem. And I was like,
no Katy Perry.
Because they're paying attention to, because every comment when they did that was like, oh, it's the Green Goblin's laugh. So then they were like,
just the laugh.
Cut it out. Whoever does social media for SNL is great.
Very good.
But if you ask like, oh, is Willem Dafoe a really nice guy? People, as long as they're not like my level, which is I'm at the level where it's like, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone. To be honest, I have not really met anyone bad.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously not going to come on here and start just like crapping on celebrities.
Of course not, yeah.
But people who've been in the industry for like 5 years plus will tell you literally anything.
Yeah.
And about Kim Kardashian is the person that you're like, this person 100% is a jerk. That's what you're thinking. She has like the top like reputation from every single person I've ever met. And you're like, there's no way. You're like, you expect her, like she's going to be this airhead. She's going to be arrogant. Same with her mother, Chris.
Oh, great business
Everyone
people.
Literally, what?
Business people.
I think you said penis people.
No, great business people.
I thought you said penis people.
Business women.
Have I talked about this before? I can't remember.
No, but I believe it. I mean, you do not get to that spot stepping on everyone's toes.
No,
it's not going to happen.
And like the reason I prefaced it by saying all this thing about people being honest is people would not lie. The people that I would ask about this would tell me like, oh, she's awful. Everyone says Kim Kardashian is the like nicest person.
Well, we're going to have her on at some point, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
And we'll actually ask her.
That would be cool. Are you a good person? Hey, behind the scenes, are you a nice person? But everyone says behind the scenes, Kim comes to every single person in the studio, shakes their hand, says, how you doing?
I love that.
Introduce herself to everyone, ask everyone their name.
That's great.
Same with her mother. And they said the same, like, I was talking to someone who does security for Saturday Night Live. And he was saying one day Chris came with like a friend of hers. It was the day that she hosted, that Kim hosted. And apparently they like bought everyone like meals. They're like, oh, we're going to have dinner. Can you come? And he's like, oh, I could. And they're like, what kind of steak do you like? Bought him like a massive steak from a fancy steakhouse.
That's great.
And like they don't have to do that. No. And honestly, like a lot of people look right past security and think like, oh, it's a security guy, whatever. It's just she's someone who understands how
because of it.
Yeah, and how someone who understands how important a security guard is for something like that.
Of course.
Because when you're in entertainment, there's psychopaths.
Yeah.
And that's the reason they've been around so long. As much as people want to say like they're stupid and they're airheads, I'm telling you right now, I would bet money on it that behind the scenes, and I don't mean just in terms of business. I'll bet you they are some of the smartest people.
Well, look at Paris Hilton. I mean, for years and years and years, she was sold as like this, oh, she has no clue and she's very pretty, but she's not. And then, she decided, well, let me break from that character and show you that I mean, of course, you could not have, listen, no one cares more about you and your money and your fame more than you do, right? So like to get to a point where you are that famous and that rich, it doesn't matter what type of team you have. If you're not invested in it, it's not going to happen.
And she actually she came into work a couple of days ago because I was
she was
subbing
on
in
the
at Drew.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to really. Some people talk to us more so than others. She, I know, was being rushed in because like she had like a 4:00 taping or something, and she had to come in and basically just immediately start. So I can't judge based on if on that circumstance, because I know when they're rushing, you have like 40 people around you who are basically like, "There's the door, go there," blah blah blah. You're not gonna have time. But she seems pretty cool. I mean, I didn't really get too much of a vibe. There's some people that have more relaxed schedules and have time to come around and say hi to everybody. But my point being is that like just you wouldn't expect that. Like everyone would expect Kim to be this like big, like arrogant rich person. Instead, she's just really sweet. And
so I guess so now that we've said that, what is the thing that you so what's your wasted potential?
I would say that I always want to like say, how do I phrase this? There are things I want to do in terms of entertainment.
Yeah.
But I look so far ahead about things that I kind of micromanage in my head everything that could possibly happen from a certain decision.
Yeah.
And no matter what, because I'm pessimistic, it basically says, oh, don't do that because that'll hurt you down the road. And so I get really neurotic about that. And I'm like, well, if I do this, then it'll affect this. And then you know what? And then I end up not doing anything. I end up playing it safe.
No, I got you. But I mean, the way that sometimes I get like that, where I need to see like a full like return on the investment, right? Or whatever time you're putting in. But sometimes it's a matter of, for me, it's like small, let's talk like a small investment for me is like making a video. And it's like, okay, if I do this video, people will love it. And maybe it's not my favorite to do, but I know people will love it. Or B, if I do this video, it's not going to do as well. I had fun doing it, and whatever, there's the next one. So I try to always find like a balance of like always being very confident in what I do. So like if I've decided that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the best, which you always do. Like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it, and no one's going to stop me from doing it. But also making sure that I have the time to say, you have your responsibilities, but you also have to make sure that those responsibilities are leading you to something that's rewarding in terms of anything. Am I able to have fun, or do I still have my passions here and here? So like, but finding a balance for that is always tough. So
my thing is that like I have a tough balance figuring out what is my best move. And at this point, I'm at the point in my life where I don't just have the concern of, is this my best decision? But my concern is, how am I going to make money to eat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I really, really, really wanted to, I could lean on my parents. But the thing is, I really, really don't want to.
No, yeah. No one wants that.
It's
not fulfilling.
I could eat much nicer food every day that my mother and my mommy and daddy paid for. And it wouldn't bring me even like an ounce of the satisfaction of eating like the crappiest burger
that you paid for.
That I can say like, oh, all these nights that I slept 4 hours and then was up at 4 a.m, like I can see it in everything I do.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of things that I concern about, and sometimes it works out for me, and sometimes it works to the point where it's detrimental, and it's at the point where like, I mean, also. It's still technically, and I'm not in my mid-20s yet, thank God. Early 20s still, which I can't believe we can say that.
That's so much time.
That's ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
Like I remember when we met each other, we were like 19. So to say that's our mid-20s almost is terrifying.
I know, it's crazy.
My point is, there are a lot of things where it's like I have a lot of options. I'm meeting a lot of people every day, and jobs are coming up, but then it becomes, do I sacrifice other things for the job? Am I stupid to sacrifice my job for other things I'm passionate about?
Yeah.
Or am I stupid to sacrifice the things I'm passionate about for the job? I don't know if I said that right. But basically,
the other way. Yeah.
Am I stupid for sacrificing either of them? And the thing is, it's like, technically I'm stupid for sacrificing both, and I'm smart for sacrificing both. So it's like this constant thing where, like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, what do I do? Because I have these constant in entertainment, things go like that.
Yeah,
like you'll go through months where you're just like, there's nothing. There's no, like, you're like, I don't, I feel stale. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're getting shot up to different, like, I know of people who are like started as interns, boom, they're this. And then like, while they were doing that, they met someone, now they're an associate producer at freaking Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's scary knowing that.
Of course.
And it's really scary when it's not happening.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, I think if you put yourself, like, within your passion or within your field, and you put 100% into it, listen, you can say that, maybe a career, maybe a job could lead to more money, or even, something that I'm passionate about. But as long as your energy is in something that you're passionate about, it doesn't matter what you're making. Money is not, you can get to a certain point where you're making so much money where you're like, sure, I can keep doing this forever. But like, am I fully, like, I can buy things that I want, but am I fully, like, do I wake up, do I go do something, and am I like satisfied when I came home that I did that thing? Is, I think, the most important part for me. Is it's like,
do you always feel that? Or are there times when, like,
there are gigs I do where I'm like, it paid me well, and I stayed true to myself. Like, I always, whenever I perform, I stay true to myself. But there are gigs that, like, they don't really do much.
Are there times when you, like, everything is going exactly how you think it? How are there times when things are going perfectly to where you think, I should be really happy about this, and everything lines up that would make you think I would be happy about this, and it's not?
Yeah, I don't know. I this is every artist or every person who's creative, or anyone actually, not even artists, or but there are times that I've had where, like, there's so many good things coming in, and it's like, oh, you're gonna be on Drew Barrymore's show, and there's this and there's this and this, you're doing this tour and this, and like, I find that people are more excited for me
than you are,
than I am, like, because it becomes like overwhelming in terms of like, this is exciting, this is great, but like, what do I want to be? Where's this in terms of like never did I imagine in a million years that, like, when starting Instagram 4 years ago, I'd be on the Drew Barrymore show, or doing TV, doing like a show, or like touring, the country. Like, I didn't think that, but like, my goal going in was something like that, like to be touring and to build a name. And it's like, you, as an artist, you keep getting to these pinnacles, right? It's like, ooh, I can't wait to hit 100,000. And you hit that, and then you're like,
it reverts back to
uncertainty,
your base point of happiness.
Yeah, it's like, you're never going to be, this is why I keep telling people, like, put out music, put out videos, because you are never going to get to a point where it's like, I'm perfectly satisfied. It's just not going to happen. So like, I don't love the way I play, right? Oh, I don't love the way I play. Okay, so never post, ever? Well, no, because you're never going to be fully happy with the way you play. Like, you'll be happier as time goes on, and there's always going to be something to learn, but it's very important to always have goals to be moving towards, but not to let those be like the end goal. Like, the end goal is not obtainable ever. Because you hit these there's like a bunch of landmarks, but you have to make sure you have those goals set up, because if not, then you're just going into this tunnel of like, well, what's the point? Because if you can keep doing and doing and doing without like I want to hit this. Like, I hit, 100,000 in September, and I was like, I kept saying, before the summer ends, I want to hit 100,000. And I hit 100,000. And I was like, yes. But like, I was like, okay, now what? Like, next, I have to finish up music. I have to grow. I want to try to hit 250,000 followers on Instagram, and like my TikTok, I want to hit 500,000. It doesn't like stop. It never stops, which is like positive and negative, because as a business, you want it to stop. Like you want at some point, you want to say, okay, it's 6 p.m. and it's Monday, business is closed, and you want to like go into like relax, but like you're a person, okay, right? So a person is awake at 6 o'clock, so you're still getting emails. Someone's still calling you. Who's texting you? Did you learn the chart? And who sent you this? So sometimes I would say in the early stages of anything, enjoy it as much as possible, because it grows to a point where like you wanted it to be there, but now that it's there, everything is different. Nothing is the same. Like when I was first doing videos and stuff, it was like there was a lot more time to do the videos, and then there was like less, like, this is great, I'm getting work, right? I'm making it sound like a negative, but what it's become is like constantly emails, constantly getting back to people, constantly chasing people for money that they owe me, and I need a deposit before I can do this, and going to this wedding and doing this for this and that and that and that and that. And then you get so caught up in that you're like strangled by something that like is your passion, right? Like you're strangled by what you wanted. So it's important to enjoy the journey along the way, and then find out ways to delegate work. Like you can't possibly grow to a level and like handle it all. So that's what I've been trying to do is like, I'm still managing myself. I'm still answering every email. But it takes me away from creating and finishing music. And I also have a hard time saying no. Like to advertisements, absolutely. I'll say no. If it doesn't align with me and I can't make something, but like
performances, gigs.
Performances, like, a friend is like, hey, like, I really want you to do this thing. And I'm like I'm suffocated with work, but they're a good friend. And like, I do want to do that thing, but like, I'm not thinking about me in terms of like, well, I want to do that thing, but I also, for me, should finish this song. I should record this. I should do this video. I should do this.
There's a lot of things you want to do. And if you want to do everything, you end up doing nothing.
Yeah. You just have to make sure that as it's growing, like you expect, like, enjoy every moment along the way, basically, and make sure you have these pinnacle moments and celebrate. When you hit something or when you do something, it's important to take a step back and say, look at what I did. Like, look at all of this stuff that, like, at the time was nothing. Like, so I started Instagram February of 2018, I think. So coming up on 4 years, I guess, which is crazy. I should have a party. But anyway, like, to look back on those posts from 4 years ago and see how terrible they did, and like how they were filmed terribly, and like then to look, a year after that, wow, they got a little better, and then a year after that, and just to watch like your growth. Because if you're in the moment and you're not checking back on stuff, you're not going to be happy. But if you look back every once in a while, you go, wait, well, this all led to something pretty cool, and I'm proud of where I am. But again, everything changes. The bigger it gets, like, the better, of course, it gets, because you're supporting yourself as, an artist, or you're supporting yourself as whatever. But just know, like, your youth and your time, like, I'm still young, you're still young, but like your youth and your time in school, your time, don't just sit there on your phone and like get hung up in what others are doing. Like, be a part of like what others are doing. Be that other that's like, whoa, did you see him? Like, he's killing it and stuff. So
see, the point I'm at right now, and we just had a very long conversation about this before we started, and I'm gonna say exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then after I edit this, I'm gonna decide how much of it I want to censor out.
Yeah, no worries.
So I was up for a position a couple months ago, and that was going to be at the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I ended up not getting it. Because I didn't get that job, has landed me a new opportunity to be the personal assistant with someone like, you don't know them personally, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it on camera because I don't know the situation. Honestly, they're not really advertising it very much.
Yeah.
And I want to be as, I guess diplomatic's not the right word, but I want to be as professional as possible.
Yeah.
Which is also part of this conversation, is
of course.
Being professional, is that it's a very cool job. It's with someone who is very high profile. This is a person who like walks around with security a lot, because they are this is not just some random person.
Yeah.
And I really respect this person.
Of course.
And they're very, very well respected and have done things in media that are, incredibly.
Iconic and-
I like. There is so much iconography attached to this person that just being able to sit and have a meeting with them, which I did yesterday morning, almost vomited beforehand. I didn't drink coffee. I didn't eat. I barely slept. And the night before that, I worked till 9 o'clock at night. Didn't get home till 10. Had to be up really early. So I generally didn't get much sleep. Even if I slept the whole time that I couldn't get enough sleep.
No.
So I felt awful and I was very nauseous. And I just went to their office and I sat on their couch with them. And I had a conversation with someone 4 months ago. If you said I'd be in their office and they would know stuff about me and be asking me about the freaking Vibe Chamber podcast,
Yeah.
I'd be like, there's not a chance.
Yeah.
So first of all, bucket list situation.
Oh,
Just
awesome.
it's like,
Yeah.
And I really want to work with this person.
Of course.
Because it's not just like, oh, I want a better job, which it is. It's better paying. It's all this. It's just that I really enjoy what they do. And the stuff that I would be doing is something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is like I said, I don't know if this made it into the cut. It depends on what it did. Earlier, I said, if you see this, it means I didn't either get the job or didn't take the job.
Yeah.
And the concern I have right now is that I am really passionate about it. But I'm also really passionate about this.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm more passionate about the other or that I'm more passionate about that and more passionate about this. It's that
What's more what's more of a guarantee in terms of
it's what's more of a guarantee and what's something that when I'm 30, when I'm 30 and when I'm 40 and when I'm 50, do I think is going to be the best for me? Because obviously I'm not going to be doing this particular job when I'm 30, but what am I going to be doing that is related to that? You know what I mean? What is what I'm doing now how is what I'm doing now going to affect me there? Because honestly, when I'm 30 and 40 and have children and I'm married, it's much more important when I'm, 23 and I live in a cheap apartment and eat McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Of course.
These are the things that I think about because I think about far ahead, but it's the situation of like, if I take this job, I don't have free time.
Yeah.
But if I do take this job, I don't have free time, but I'm associating with people that, again, it's like every day would be like a bucket list moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Recording things with people, helping this person, with certain projects that they're doing. It wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I would be on a moment's notice on planes to all parts of the country and the world and flying overseas at random times.
Yeah.
But stuff like this can't happen for at least, this is someone that I'm not just going to, if I can't handle it, quit in a month. And in all honesty, I don't have any doubt in my mind that I can handle it. I know for a fact I could handle it.
Of course, yeah.
The thing is it the right decision for me?
Yeah. I mean,
and if I make, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
it's like, if I make the decision, whatever decision I make, I know that I'm going to be able to do it. It's not like, oh, I'm unsure about it, but if I do it, I'll still be unsure about it. If I make the decision, it's done.
Yeah.
And I can put all my weight into it.
Yeah.
But now it's at a point where it's like, I could do this and we could be getting a bunch of people on the show and be doing amazing interviews and all that stuff, which I really love.
Yeah.
And that could do really well. Or I could do this other thing and that could also do really well. And what's the best alternative? And there's arguments for both,
of course,
which sucks because I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, I accept it. Can't really do this. And I just basically, their life becomes my life.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of, if they're doing something,
I'm there.
You're there.
Or I do this.
Yeah.
And I am making my own decisions. But at the same time, you never know what could happen.
Of course
this could hit a ceiling. It could never take off. I doubt that because I think if you do anything enough, it'll take off in some form, no matter what. I mean, like I think there's essentially nothing that if you work hard enough won't take off at least a little. My thing is what's going to be the better alternative, and there's really no way to know except to just go full on into something. And if I do, let's say I get offered, like again, I have not been offered this job, just an interview. But obviously we want to think about what happens if I take this job, lose all my thing. If I turn down this job after expressing interest, do I completely fuck myself by looking bad? Or by turning down this job and giving solid reasons, do I look better and stand up for myself more.
Yeah, no, well, I wouldn't see it as like you're ruining your reputation, because you can interview for something and then they present you with, this is what it is, and you can go, well, wait a second, or hey, I looked over it after the interview and I'm just thinking like, this might be too much for me, or maybe, obviously you could handle that job. There's a difference between being able to do something and then something taking over everything, right? So technically, of course, like if someone told me I needed to stay up, 19 hours every day and do this job, and I'm going to get paid to do it, but I need to do it. You need to do it.
Yeah.
I can be there. I can do it. At a certain point, I'm going to be burnt out and hate it, and everyone's going to hate me.
Yeah.
But I'll do that. I'll still be there. But there comes a point, I guess, where you have to decide where, like, are you fully going to invest in something or someone, or are you going to fully invest
In yourself?
in yourself or something you've created? Now, both are great, great, and one could lead to the other. So if you investing fully into somebody who's doing great things could make you that somebody that others invest in. But it's just a matter of, deciding what you want that to be. So my thought process has always been like, if you decide, we're going to make this podcast and it's going to work out and everyone's going to love it, then it will. You start off in the beginning, maybe people aren't listening, and maybe people are listening. But depending on that, there is always room to grow from there. So it hits a ceiling. Why did it hit the ceiling? Nothing's fresh about it. Nothing's changed. It's growing really quickly. What segments are people really loving, and what segments are not doing as well? And how can we add something to those segments to make it better? Like, again, even with saxophone, like when I was in college, it was like, again, I always say this, my dad, specifically, I love my dad, and he's one of my biggest supporters for everything I do. But he always was very realistic with me, which is, I thank him all the time because of this, for being like this. My dad would always say, you play the saxophone, you went to school you're going to school for the saxophone, but like, where's the passion? What are you going to do with that to create, a career where you're paying your bills and and that scared me, my freshman year. And my freshman year, I was working with a singer a lot, and, she was a good friend of mine, but I thought, we're both, good at music. She's a great singer. I can produce and stuff. And we did that for a while. And then like, it became to a point where like my sophomore year, I was like, I have to build something that is fully, dependent on me, like whether if I wake up and I say I will do X, Y, and Z, it's going to happen. There's not going to be, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but she's not available, or he, or,
no matter what, you're going to make it
it's
happen.
going to happen. Like if I sit down and say, okay, Tuesday, I'm doing this, this, and this, I don't need someone to tell me, hey, we need you to do this and this. And I don't want somebody who's going to stop me from doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So my sophomore year, I was like, I need to start making videos for myself. This girl that I that I am good friends with, her name's Tiana O'Hara. I saw her Instagram. She dropped out of school after her freshman year, and she grew to like 25,000 followers in like a year or something on Instagram. She was the first person I saw that I knew that really made it happen. Like she went from like just
being a
guitar
musician.
player,
Yep.
musician, to like, oh wow, people recognize her for what she does, and they're like sharing they're engaging with her. So after seeing that, I was like, all right, this has to be me. I need to, if Tiana can do it, there's no reason for me to do it. And my year was nothing like Tiana's first year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know personally, how she felt after posting and stuff, but I know from numbers, she, I think, went up to like 25,000 a year. I went from 1,000 to 9. And after that year, I was like, no, actually during the summer, I quit for like a month.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't worth it. Like Tiana's did so well and other people's do so well, but like, I like changed my mindset and was like, okay, well, it's not working now. And then it worked really well for like a year. And then the coronavirus hit, and like I could not make anything that people could care about. Like for a whole year, I was like 60,000, 58,000, and I sat at 58. Like I
remember that. That was a hard period of time.
Dude, I have a text from Ben Fortunato. Like, congrats on 60K. And after he sent that text, I just remember it went, my following dropped and it stayed below like 60K for like a year.
Just blame Ben.
Ben is like
this. Because Ben's amazing. But
he's this incredible guitar player. Actually, search him, please.
Ben Fortunato. I don't know his Instagram tag.
Yeah, check out his Instagram. I think it's just Ben Fortunato.
Yeah, something like that.
Fortunato.
No, but I get what you're saying, and now I'm just like at a really, to sound like some.
Listen, it's a tough crossroad, but it's also just two good decisions that you can make.
Is that like I don't want this to come off like I'm complaining.
No,
it's just that there is stress when you have two good opportunities, and because there's no perfect opportunity. That's something. I said that like I'm some freaking wisdom person.
Every opportunity has its flaws.
Yes. Never heard that before. My point being, I don't know what to do right now. Yeah. And that stresses me out. And I know it's like, oh, you have two good opportunities.
But whatever you do, just dig your feet into and it's going to work.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't stress you out.
I have no concern that if I don't get this job or if I don't take it, that I can dig my feet full into this. Yeah. I have no doubt that if I get that job, that I can 100% function healthily and be really impactful, devoting my life to this person.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like creating entertainment myself for a possible audience, or creating, helping to create entertainment for millions of people essentially tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Well, what we can do is in the comments, guys,
tell me what I should do.
Tell Scotty what to do.
I don't trust me. And I'm going to tell you, and I have not told anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want, like I told you and I told my roommate, not told my girlfriend, not told my parents.
Yeah.
In fact,
because you don't want to hear. You want to make a sound decision.
If I don't get this job,
you probably won't.
They will probably hear about it through this.
Through the podcast, yeah.
So I'm very sorry.
No, but you also don't want someone else's opinion.
Here's the thing: is I am stressed enough about it. Genuinely, I'm very stressed about it because I'm the kind of person where when I get good news, it makes me stress because I'm like, yeah, it's stupid as hell. Like it's the the most third world problem imaginable. You know what I mean? But
third world problem. What are you talking about?
First world problem.
You're about to be third world. To take that job.
I take the job, can't pay my rent. No, it's the most first world job or problem imaginable. But I don't know. It just stresses me out because I don't know what to do.
No, dude. But either way, it's gonna work out.
So basically, my answer is 45 minutes long. So let's blast through these questions.
Let's blast them.
So. Let's start with a fun one. Yeah. Elliot.krs asked for Elliot Jacobson's phone number. I'm going to grab water when you answer that.
Elliot Jacobson? Who the hell is Elliot Jacobson?
How long have we been? Okay, we've been taking for like an hour and a half. I can mess up a few words and it's okay. No. Elliot.krs asks for Evan Jacobson's phone number.
32. Next question.
32? That's their phone number? That's Evan Jacobson's phone
32,
number? 32, yeah. 32?
Why do you doubt me? 32.
How is it their phone number?
Literally call 32 right now. Do it. Call 32. Put it on speaker. Put it on the mic.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Silly Evan. He's so silly. He does that voice all the time. Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
How old were you when you started? I'm assuming playing saxophone. That's by Argentina with 2 A's, 17.
I started playing piano when I was 4.
Well, Argentina does have 2 A's, but I mean like there's 2 A's and then Argentina.
Yeah. I started playing piano when I was 4, clarinet when I was 7, alto sax when I was 11, and tenor sax when I was 16. I'm 23 now, so you could do all the math. But yeah, I guess for that long, I've been tooting things.
What's your favorite movie instrumental? That's from val._.tune. First of all, these usernames need to be fixed because you know what mine is? Mine on all social media is at Scotty Madonia. Now I understand there's not a bunch
everyone has names that are that easy, you know?
Yeah, to be fair, I have a name that's not.
No one has.
Because it's a freaking very Irish first name and then a very Italian last name. Which, in fact, the only person I know that has that name is my father. But so I understand that I'm fortunate and all that crap. But come on. Come up with, at least make it spellable. You don't want to say like, hey, you want to hit me up on Instagram? My name is val12 dot underscore dash slash asterisk.
Slash asterisk.
But val dot underscore dot 299 said, what's your favorite movie instrumental?
I like the music from Hereditary a lot. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. So you can tell, I guess, there's a lot wrong here. I love Batman the Dark Knight. Has some great music.
Hans Zimmer. Who also did, I never saw the movie, but he did the soundtrack for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is the Andrew Garfield one.
I never saw that one.
I never saw any of those. I only saw Tobey's and then all of the Tom Holland ones. But I will say, I felt nostalgia from hearing a soundtrack for a movie I've never seen, which I think that means it's pretty, like, I heard this and I was like, oh, maybe it sounds like, it might sound like something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I heard it and I was like, this sounds like something that I would have been obsessed with when I was a kid. So I think that means it's pretty damn good.
Also, I guess Public Enemy, which is the Johnny Depp Christian Bale movie.
I never saw it.
I think it's I liked it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think the music's really, really good.
I'm a John Williams guy, and I know there's all this. You bring up John Williams to a musician, and they're like, John Williams, did you know that he stole from
blah blah blah?
Freaking, I don't know. They always say there's one particular classical composer that they always cite, but look, I don't know. I don't think freaking Beethoven or Bach could. I don't think they could, compose the soundtrack to E.T.
No, that's got a great soundtrack.
And they have the final credits has this like
so good,
like this crazy. It's like on piano.
I agree. That's one of the best ones.
And in the Harry Potter soundtrack, the player's playing. What's the name of the instrument? It sounds like a glockenspiel, but it's played like a piano.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of it. It's like bells. It sounds like it's basically hammers hitting bells, but it's like keys. And the person playing that is playing like 16th notes, but like here's the tempo. But it's like just crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not just like, it's like three notes, just kind of like a polyrhythm. It's all the way up and all the way down the key. It's unbelievable.
It's awesome.
It's the London Philharmonic. I think they recorded Abbey Road Studios.
Wow.
But I think that's where John does all of his stuff. Although he's American, but
Thought you were American.
So let's see. What's the next question? So, let's see. Are you single by CL Ravenclaw?
I am currently single. Yes.
Any plans to not be single?
I don't know. I'm very, very. It's kind of weird to say this, but I'm very focused on making sure that my career is solid.
Lame.
Lame. No, I want to finish music, get stuff out, and be like, because my career has suffocated me right now. I will say I'm very happy because this is not a complaint.
You know what this is? You know what this podcast? Like I said, I hate that word. You know what this show is turning into?
What?
It's two people who have like decent options in their lives complaining about them anyway.
Exactly.
Is what it is.
Exactly. But until I set up a team of like help or like maybe some employees or stuff that I can like delegate work to and like, feel like I'm fully in, like I can fully do what I want. I think I'm still, I mean, hey, who knows? If someone comes along and they're the perfect,
You want kids? Eventually. I mean, not now.
Yeah. No, I want kids.
Do you have an age where you'd want to have kids?
I feel like 30 is like a good age to have kids, but also
I'm planning about 30, but honestly, it's only less than 7. Oh, that's, I was 7 years ago, I was 16. And then that less than 7 years ago, or less than 7 years from now, I can have.
I don't know. It's not realistic.
I can't even pay for myself to shit. So like,
yeah. I'd pay to see it though.
Is your true love jazz by Noam ZYL? I know that's not true. I know you like jazz.
I like jazz. I learned a lot of jazz, and I did a lot of transcriptions, and there's a lot of jazz artists.
We only spent a ton of money learning how to play jazz in college.
Yeah, but I would say my true love is pop and hip hop and electronic and stuff like just popular music. But I think it's very important to check out the guys. If you're playing an instrument, you should check out some guys who've done that.
While you're saying that, I read one of the questions, and I genuinely don't remember writing this down. I don't know, because we didn't write a username down, so I feel like we must have talked about it. But the question is, when are you going to fuck me?
Oh God.
We're not going to say. Well, I don't want to like embarrass whoever.
Yeah,
asked
no,
that.
I think it's the same answer. As
My username is that I had to hide my username.
Yeah, you don't want to put your username next to that one. I would say I'd revert to my first answer to the first question. So like 32, probably.
You have to wait that long? 9 years?
No, 32. I was saying.
They have to be 32?
No, just 32.
That's the number.
She said when? Yeah, 32.
It's not an age, it's just when.
Well, 32 is what it is. If you have like Evan Jacobson's number, 32.
Nice.
They're on like,
Equal playing levels.
32.
Let's see. This one is from
32.
This one is from TJ Murphy 7. They said,
I love TJ Maxx.
that whole thing with Teddy Swims and TJ Maxx. Can I play that? Oh, we gotta. Man. Do you think he'll be okay if we play that?
The Polo Poos?
If I insert that into the show?
Yeah, you can put it in. I have it on my computer. He'll be okay with it.
We had a conversation with Teddy Swims. You played saxophone with.
Yeah. I like when people will comment sometimes. Like Teddy will comment.
Yeah.
Like Teddy and I are like best friends.
He's the nicest, sweetest guy, by the way.
I love Teddy. Like beyond music, beyond anything. Like Teddy as just a person. Beyond the music and how amazing he is with that. We're like best friends. And he'll comment on my Instagram post and someone will go, oh, no way, Teddy Swims is commenting on his shit.
Meanwhile, you're just like
I'm just like, I love Teddy.
We had this whole thing where I was basically writing hate songs against Teddy. I don't know how it started.
It started because you made fun of his shirt.
In a song or just...
No. I FaceTimed.
Oh, okay. I love Ralph Lauren, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I'm some bougie person. I buy it at TJ Maxx on sale. That's what I get it. I mean, I'll occasionally get it as gifts, but I get it from TJ Maxx.
I get it from your mother.
And so basically, he had the U.S. Polo Association on,
Oospa.
which I will not have any hesitancy in slandering. Because U.S. Polo Association,
Oospa.
Look, if you go to TJ Maxx and you buy U.S. Polo Association, it's the same price as if you were to buy Polo. So this isn't some like, oh, you don't have the money. Like, that's understandable. That's a different thing. That's like saying, oh, I can't afford Polo. That is one thing.
Yeah.
Again, which is why I buy it by TJ Maxx. It's also why this shirt has 5 holes in it and I haven't replaced it because I can't afford it. My point being,
yes,
it's not a price thing. It's a moral obligation to buy Polo if you're going to buy one or the other.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Teddy Swims is a fairly famous artist.
Yeah.
Who I don't know his finances, but I know that he could afford full price Polo if he wanted to.
How do you know?
Because if he can't,
then
he's doing something seriously
wrong.
wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if he likes Oospa?
Apparently he does because he wore that shirt. You're right. It was on FaceTime.
He likes Oospa.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I'll tell them what I did.
Yeah, tell me.
I made fun of his shirt. So he wrote a song about how I am
you
obsessed.
sent one first. Oh yeah, you sent the one that
I set one.
Set my ass on fire.
Yes, because he has a song called "Bed on Fire," which I wrote a song about when you have to use the bathroom late at night.
Yes.
We don't need to elaborate more than
my
that.
Ass on fire.
But so I sent that after though. He sent this first. And he sent me this song that you guys worked together about how I am obsessed with TJ Maxx. And I also have a gecko. His name's Kevin.
Kevin.
And I'm way too OCD about taking care of Kevin. So this is what he did. This is Teddy Swims, the major artist.
I only buy Polo from
Ross and TJ Maxx.
I look rich because I shop
From the clearance rack.
I will travel across the land looking for thrift shops. When I see the polo shirts,
You know I got a cop.
So basically,
They call me
that
the
is
Polo
major
Poos.
pop artist Teddy Swims. You don't think he'll care if I show that?
No,
do you?
I feel like we should show that while he's on.
Here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
I'll just show a second of that, and
Yeah.
then I'll cut it. So there's gonna be if there's a weird cut there, it's because we're gonna wait till we're gonna have Teddy on.
Yeah, we're gonna have
hopefully,
Teddy on.
and that's it. But how do we get on this topic? Teddy Swims. Oh, I don't.
TJ
remember.
Maxx.
TJ Maxx.
Just TJ Murphy.
TJ Murphy. What was the question? TJ Murphy.
We didn't get to the question.
Okay, TJ Murphy.
Ooh. TJ.
I just love that. We'll just do a couple more.
TJ.
Because we're spending 45 minutes on
Just
each
read
question.
them all and then take the good ones.
Okay.
TJ Murphy, what did you ask?
TJ Murphy, 7. What is your ultimate goal / biggest dream?
Ultimate goal, biggest dream is to put out music. I think I'm living it, to be honest, which is really cool to say. That was really. Anyway, ultimate goal is to basically put out music, put out a successful album, tour with that music, and bring, I guess, kind of build a brand or build a community around, the people that I think are really talented and really respect, and kind of, beyond that, just, support myself. And I want to get to a place like Teddy Swims, where, it's worth it for people to be invested in a project that involves me. Because like Teddy has a team. So like Teddy says, we're doing this tour. The people are there. They can't wait because Teddy's at a place financially and with a label where he's got budget, where he can, put his friends are all on salary, and that's who he hires as his friends. It's not, Steve who's recommended because of X. It's no, this is my best friend and he's great at what he does. And if I can pay him to do what he's great at, then no one else should have him. So I love that. So I want to build, I guess, a community or a brand or business where I could be working with my friends and the people who I think are really talented. And then beyond that, I'd love to be on SNL at some point. I love Lenny Pickett. I love that music.
Lenny
I love
Pickett
that.
mentioned you. We've said this a million times.
I know.
You mentioned it on Instagram, but when I interviewed Lenny, sweetest guy in the whole world.
Lenny's the best.
I found his email. I'm not going to tell you exactly where because I don't want.
Didn't I give you it?
No, I found it. No, I found his email on a forum. It was like a small. It wasn't Reddit. It was literally like a small time forum.
Yeah.
And I just that's how I found a lot of people's emails.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just searched them up, and it was like, do you have so-and-so's email? And then I would type in like forum and just see if there's forums discussing it. Someone had posted it like, oh, I need a sax player in New York City. And they're like, call the sax player. And there was no, how did you get my email? There was no blah, blah, blah.
No,
he was just like, I like what you do. Yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, how about like 4 days from now? He's perfect. I have time off from SNL. We have a week off or something. It was
Lenny's
beginning of January.
a year
So it must
ago.
have been the last time. Wow.
Lenny's the coolest guy. He's an
Sweetest
amazing
guy.
player. But I would love to like play on SNL and then also like be in skits too. That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. I'm a massive SNL fan.
Yeah.
And I've been able to interview like a few people from there. The director, my boy Wally, the cue card guy.
Yes, and guys, search it. Like literally
Some
check
of the nicest guys ever.
check out the Vibe Chamber and listen to the like if you're interested in SNL and stuff.
How many takes do you need for your sax solo when making a post?
Sometimes it's
We had said it was like 40 for the last one.
the last one was like 40, but I've had one where it was like 100 something.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it, but
Yeah. And there's times where it's 100 something and the 100th take is like great. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, finally. And there's other times where it's 100 takes and then take like 20 was like, wow, that was perfect. And then that ends up being like a good video. But then there's other times where it's like first or second take.
you have knocked it out quickly.
Yeah. There's times where I just like go bang and it happens. There's other times where I just get frustrated or it's not happening or maybe in the wrong mindset and it's just not going to happen.
Gotcha.
So it depends.
Next one is favorite musician by Tats underscore KHH.
These usernames are great.
Very hard to read.
Favorite musician. I'm gonna go through like musicians and artists. I'm gonna kind of hit all of them.
Knock them out.
Saxophone player that I've been loving a lot recently is Steve Cortiga, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Know.
Awesome saxophone player. He plays at Las Vegas a bunch. He plays with Lady Gaga a bunch and Tony Bennett. And like every solo that he plays especially for the Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett stuff is perfect.
Fantastico.
Perfect. So Steve, I love Chad Lefkowitz Brown. I'm gonna go through sax players and then like I guess pop or singers like that. Steve Cortiga, Chyla Fitz-Brown. I listen to a lot of Braxton Cook, Grace Kelly, Leo P. I'm trying to think. Lenny Pickett is amazing. Richie Cannata is amazing. Michael Brecker is my favorite saxophone player of all time. He's the best at being a chameleon. He could play. You could always tell it was him, but he could play something really out for like a really out thing, or he could play something really, really in for
And
a
you're
pop
still
gig.
like, this is Michael.
Amazing.
But it's
and
also perfect.
Yeah, and I can tell that this is Michael. Ed Kaye, I think, is one of the greatest saxophone players alive right now. You're good.
Who's next one?
It's still in focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Ed Kaye, I think, is one of the greatest saxophone players around right now. Not a lot of people know him. That's Ed, Calle. Now, beyond saxophone players, I love Alan Stone is one of my favorite singers, songwriters. Teddy Swims, same exact thing, is one of my favorite singers. Great person, great singer. Amy Winehouse is like she's the best. Songwriter, singer, all that.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. And that was actually one of my biggest goals, which is kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Her music and her vibe was like, I would love to have been able to play like for something with her or something, but you know, that's unfortunate. Frank Sinatra, Whitney Houston, no one delivered a song like those people.
Yeah. I get that. I agree with that.
They're my favorite.
How much do you get paid by Banu __ Prasad _20?
It all depends. I mean, there's some jobs which pay really well. That, you know, I love to do these and I want to do these. There's some jobs that it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I'll do them and they pay really well. And then there's jobs that I hate that pay well. And then there's things that I love that don't pay well. So it all depends. As a freelance or a musician or artist, you got to be doing 1,000 things. Some of them pay great. Sure. You could do a wedding that pays really well. You can sell mouthpieces. You can have an endorsement deal. But if you're not focused on doing 1,000 things, nothing's going to pay well.
Yep.
Like you have to be doing everything.
You have to keep your eyes, you have to be constantly just going.
Yeah, constantly like, okay, gigs, sure. Advertisements when they fit my brand. I'm not going to give up my whole thing to make, you know, whatever.
Don't like weaken the structure of your, don't weaken your integrity just for a quick buck.
No, that's the biggest no. But
people who do that don't last.
No, they don't last because then they become like sellouts and
people want to trust you. That's a big thing.
You got to actually love that product.
What is your solo writing process?
Every time I go to play a solo, I think like a singer. The first thing I play is something that I want. Like, let's say I was doing a concert and I were to go, da, 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 da. I want to be able to turn the mic around to the audience. Exactly. I want that to happen. So, the goal, good work. Audience participation.
That's my wasted potential. Being able to sing,
being an audience.
In tune. I'm the person who watches the cool person. I mean, hey, depending on what happens the next couple days, it might be possible. That might be what happens.
That might be what you do. But my goal is always thinking like a singer. What is a melody I can play or something that I can do that people will remember and will be able to sing back? Accentuate that a couple times and kind of divert from it. So there's sometimes where I'll do a couple takes and like by the third take, maybe the second half was bad, but I was like, oh, what I played in the beginning was really cool. And then I'll start my fourth take with what I played in the third take and try to play something cool after it. So
gotcha.
That's kind of that.
Cool. Got two more.
Yeah, let's hear them.
This comes from Carl _Taylor _
I love
second.
Carl.
Carl was when I started the Vibe Chamber, one of the first people. He and then the next question, the person who asked the next question, were like the two people that always watched. Always commenting. Like,
no, Carl's the best, and Carl's an amazing musician, artist, producer. So I would highly advise people to check him out.
Teddy says, "What a biz snatch." Haha, love you boys, but also fuck you, Poos.
Fuck you, Poos.
There's Theodore right there. There's the video. Keep going.
Yeah, what's his question?
Why can't you play saxophone out of the other hole? You have a TikTok.
That's
it does
right.
that.
I
The Careless
actually
Whisper.
Check out. Yeah, it wasn't much of a whisper, but it but it did come out of the other hole. It's hard to get.
Do you know what you need to do? You'll be able to go down in like a record book. If you can find a way to make an attachment. No, it's just not what you're thinking. No, I'm actually making an honest thing here. Make an attachment where you can take the mouthpiece off the front of the sax, like, or take the what is that? The metal.
Oh, the neck.
The neck, and then attach a reed to the bell and play from the bell and have it condense up the horn and out where the neck goes.
Would be pretty
If
cool.
you could invent a way to do that and then have like an extra sax on stage and at some point play the sax like that, you know how sick that would be? It would sound terrible, but would you forget that if you went to a concert and the saxophone player picked up a saxophone, started blowing into the bell of the sax and sound came out?
That sounds pretty cool. I might try to do that.
Final question.
Yeah.
We got from
Ian Miller.
Ian Miller Jazz.
Ian Miller Jazz.
Ian Miller is one of the most loyal people ever.
He's the
supports
best. I love
He's
Ian
the
Miller.
best. From Scotland. He used to stay up till like, I think one time he was like, I don't know. He's like, Scotty! I don't know. I've never heard him talk.
We don't know how he sounds.
I think I've like heard him.
Haggis. I think he talks like
I
this.
imagine he's like a really strong Scottish accent. Ian, if you watch this, please, if you watch it to this point, which could be like 3 hours into this, I have no idea how long this is going to be. We've been taping for what? 2 hours?
And 1 minute. Yeah.
If you get to this point, please just like DM one of us, just like you saying something, because I really want to know if you're like
Well,
a really
in the
heavy-
video he did from my pepperoni pizza thing, you could hear him talk.
for a second.
Haggis.
Yeah, he does say that. He
Ian
says,
Miller.
what do you have musically coming down the pipeline?
So I have a bunch of music that I'm kind of sitting on that I'm gonna start to release. So next will probably be the "Spin Me Round" song. "Spin Me Round." It's the song that I wrote with Casey, the bass player Casey Basie. That's coming out soon, and then I have a song that's called "Queen No Crown." Queen No Crown is coming out after that, and then I have another song with my friend Julian, which is gonna come out, and then I started writing one. I hope you feel like shit, and I hope you throw a fit. Oh,
That was a little off.
I hope you feel like shit.
I like the great way to advertise the music
Stay right
you're
there,
coming
stay
up
there,
with
right
is by singing it terribly.
Here's a taste. 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 Here's a taste.
Everyone ready?
Okay.
I like that sample.
I hope you feel. Oh, that's where it is. Okay, ready? Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Stay right there. Yeah.
Okay, little 2-5-1.
Yeah. Here it comes. Ready? And I hope you feel. Let's try one more time. I'll keep it shorter. Oh, fucking asshole. Here it comes. Here it comes. This is the song I'm working on. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the lyrics are. And I hope you feel like shit. And I hope you throw. It got worse.
Can't get
This is the last time. Last time. Yeah, so this is the song I'm working
This
on.
is the last thing we're doing on this episode, so you might as well get
Yeah,
it.
might as well do it. And I hope you feel like shit. And I hope you throw a fit. But darling, please know it won't get better. Yeah. Amen.
Thank you all for listening. Good?
Yeah.
Sign off.